3 years into our relationship, Eva and I were the couple everyone admired. Friends often comment on how perfectly we seemed to fit together, and for a time, I believed it too. She was stunning, intelligent, and had a vibrant, fiery personality that never failed to captivate me. We had talked about marriage on numerous occasions, imagining a future filled with love, children, and growing old side by side. I thought I had found the one I was meant to spend my life with, but life, as it often does, has a way of catching you by surprise. One Friday evening, I finished work early, eager to surprise Eva with her favorite sushi and a bottle of her favorite wine. Both of us had been incredibly busy lately, and I thought a quiet night would be the perfect way to reconnect. As I pulled into the driveway of our shared apartment, I noticed her car already parked outside. Something felt off. The living room lights were off, and the apartment was unnervingly quiet. I carried the food and wine inside, calling out, "Eva, I'm home." No response. I set the bags down on the kitchen counter and noticed her shoes by the door, the ones she wore when going out. Her purse was casually draped over the couch. She was definitely home. Then I heard it, a muffled laugh coming from the bedroom. My stomach dropped, and a heavy wave of dread washed over me. I moved cautiously toward the bedroom, each step feeling like a weight. Another laugh followed, accompanied by the voice of a man. My heart began to race, pounding so loudly that it drowned out everything else. I pushed the bedroom door open just a crack, enough to glimpse inside. There she was, Eva, the woman I had imagined marrying, lie in our bed with another man. I froze, my mind scrambling to make sense of what I was seeing. My instinct was to burst in, to shout, to demand an explanation, but instead, I slowly backed away, closed the door quietly, and walked back into the living room. I sat on the couch, staring blankly at the wall, struggling to comprehend the betrayal that had just unfolded before me. A few minutes later, Eva appeared, acting as though nothing was amiss. Her voice was casual, almost nonchalant. "Oh, you're home," she said. I turned to face her. She stood there, wrapped in a robe, her hair a mess, looking anything but remorseful. In fact, she seemed irritated, as if my arrival had been more of an inconvenience than anything else. "We need to talk," I said, keeping my voice steady despite the storm of emotions raging inside me. She crossed her arms and leaned against the doorway. "About what?" she asked, her tone defensive. I gestured toward the bedroom. "About what I just saw." She rolled her eyes, letting out a heavy, exaggerated sigh, as if I was the one being unreasonable. "Eva, look," she said sharply, "it's my body. I can sleep with whoever I want. Until we're married, I'm still free." Her words hit me like a punch to the gut. I stared at her, waiting for any sign of regret, but there was none. She stood there, unapologetic and almost smug. "Are you serious?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "Yes," she replied, her tone firm and unwavering. "You're overreacting. We're not married yet, so I don't owe you anything. This is my life, and I'll live it however I want." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. This was the woman I had planned to marry, the one I thought I would spend the rest of my life with. And now, she was standing there, defending her betrayal as if it was entirely normal. "You've been pushing me to marry you," I said, keeping my voice calm but cold. "But how can I marry someone who cheats on me?" She shrugged, her expression indifferent. "Marriage changes everything. This wouldn't happen if we were married." Her logic was so twisted, so devoid of any accountability, that I was left speechless. Did she really believe that a ring and a piece of paper would somehow erase the lack of respect she had shown for me in our relationship? I stood up, grabbed my keys, and looked her in the eye. "I can't do this, Eva. I deserve better." Her eyes widened as if she hadn't expected me to actually leave. "Wait," she said, her tone softening for the first time. "You're really going to throw this all away over one mistake." "One mistake," I repeated, shaking my head. "This wasn't a mistake. A mistake is something you regret. You don't regret this. You've made that clear." She didn't say anything more. She just stood there, watching as I walked out the door. As I drove away, a strange sense of calm washed over me. Yes, I was heartbroken, and yes, I was angry, but more than anything, I felt free. Free from the lies, the manipulation, and the disrespect. I didn't look back. I left the apartment to her, blocked her number, and started over. It wasn't easy. For weeks, I wrestled with my emotions, questioning if I had made the right choice. But deep down, I knew I had. Months later, I heard from mutual friends that Eva was still waiting for me to come to my senses. She was convinced I would cave and come crawling back. What she didn't understand was that by walking away, I had found my strength. Leaving wasn't just about ending the relationship. It was about choosing myself, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.